Good Fitness Insights. It feels incredible to be here right now. Last week we had an amazing conversation. We've got a bunch of insights already in the books. And today I think we're going to start with the mission statement, for Give Fitness. And so tell me a little bit about that.
Let's talk about the vision and let's
Sure.
talk about the words that we're using to create the conditions and the environment. That means that it doesn't exist. Creation. Then when we talk about conditions, what are the circumstances that we are putting into place so that the right environment is born? And environments are everything. When you create an environment, you are creating a world with a set of standards for human contribution. The first word, health. What does health mean? Because words have meaning. When we talk about health, what our culture today tells us, you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, you get a prescription, it takes away the side effects. But our form of health is prevention. It's about what do we have to do so we don't have to go to the doctor. With the way we eat, with our lifestyle and the things that we do on a daily basis towards that. And it doesn't just stop at the physical health. It also goes into mental health. And that's for the individual. But as human beings, we're interconnected. We're interdependent. That also goes into relationship health. And there's all forms of relationships. Whether it's family, significant other, friendships, colleagues. It's all connected. It all coincides. Physical health. I'm not telling you that you have to do what we do, which is strength training and body weight movement and good nutrition. But what I am saying, find the type of movement that works for you, that you enjoy, that you look forward to. There's kickboxing, there's HIIT training, there's yoga. There's all sort of movement patterns. Go give it a try. Go experience. Go discover what you don't know when it comes to movement. And then when you reflect, see which one you enjoyed the most. Simple. Mental health. Mental health happens when we don't have information. And what does that mean? You have to get to know the information in the world. You need to be able to identify things. So that way you're not a victim to things. How many people know that if I'm having a negative thought, it's going to lead to a negative emotion? How many people know that the impressions that have happened in my life in my early stages, it dictates the conditioning in my behavior? How many people know that I can replace a belief that I have? Now, I'm not going to tell you that all these things are easy. It requires practice. But that's the joy of life. Discovering new things, new mental models, new beliefs, applying them. Does this work for me? Does this not work for me? Relationships. Am I getting positive reinforcement? Or am I getting negative reinforcement? Is someone trying to coach me to be better? Or are they trying to criticize me? Is someone always complaining to me about their life? Or are they telling me about the problems they face and the solutions they found? These little details, they matter. They're important. Every single little detail is important. And the reason being is because it is your life. So the physical, the mental, and the relationship, they need to be interconnected. And they need to be worked on. Daily. You want to have an excellent life? Work on these 3 daily. Then, the next important word in our vision is happiness. What's going to create a world of happiness? Simple. Progress and growth. Our happiness as people comes when we know we are progressing. That could be physically. That could be mentally. That could be emotionally. That could be in a work environment. That could be in your life's work. That could be in your relationship with a significant other. That could be with your relationships with people in this world. That could be contributing to one of the problems that we are facing in the world of today. That's the secret to happiness. We feel unhappy when we feel stagnant, when we're not moving. Entropy. We have to live our lives with passion. We have to be enthusiastic about doing, not letting our minds talk us out of it. The ultimate thing that we have as human beings is our will. Train your will every day to move and do something progressive. And see what happens. And then, what happens when you go and it's been years that you've been progressing? All these little progressions, micro progressions that you've been doing on a daily basis. A year, a decade, it becomes massive progress. Therefore, happiness. Because when you reflect, you know you were doing. And forget about the idea of failure and mistakes weighing you down. Those are the best lessons. So change your perception of how you view it. What happens when you view every mistake and every lesson and every failure as a lesson? It's going to be organic growth. That's where the insights are born. That's what turns into wisdom. Next, confidence. Everyone tells you you need to be confident. But what does that mean? Does anyone have a true understanding of how confidence is born within us? Small wins, small achievements, small progress. For a student at Get Fitness, when they do a 225-pound deadlift, confidence. When they get to a 315 deadlift, more confidence. When they get into a 405 deadlift, more confidence. Then, when they develop the awareness of that progression, and that gives confidence, then they transfer it to the other areas with the mental and the emotional fitness. Mentally, they start reading the 4 agreements, mindset. Just feel the books that we give out, and that gives into their knowing. So they are more confident because they know more. They have stories and they have understandings to reference from. It's like lots of tiny improvements every day is the secret to everlasting success. From The Atomic Habit by James Clear. That's a knowing. That's research based. What happens when you have a ton of information and practices are research based and then you apply them to your life? Then the emotional fitness. What happens when you're with people and every single day you're building on something together? That brings team confidence. For us, we become an organization that just started in the public sector with the gyms, but our team confidence as we enter the educational sector and then the corporate sector, pretty soon we're going to start organizing companies coming together and throwing events for learning, transformational and educational. What's that going to do to our team confidence, organization confidence, company confidence, enterprise confidence? It's a build-up. Then the vision talks about supermodels and super leaders. What is that? Let's start with the basic understanding that models and leaders do the right thing at the right time, at the right moment. But then we use the superlative super model, super leader. People that do the right thing with courage and confidence all the time. All the time. So then what does that do to the behavior of everyone around us? Therefore, that's an environment. Now, that's a vision. How do we carry it out? How do we manifest that? How do we take this idea that we visualized, this idea that we conceived, how do we achieve it so we can receive the contribution to the world? We train and educate all of our members to develop into the healthiest, the happiest, which we've gone over, and the most inspiring supermodels and super leaders in the world. Because to inspire is to breathe life into others. To inspire is to give. To inspire is to help others realize what they can do. For them to find their voices the way that we found ours. Now, if they want to join our world and do more and help us create more worlds having to do with gift fitness and the concept that we're bringing to the world, amazing. But if they want to use us as the foundation to what they're going to create, that's amazing too. There is no right or wrong way of doing. The only thing that matters is that we are doing. Therefore, by inspiring everyone around us, imagine what kind of world what kind of renaissance we can create together. Because it does not matter how we get there. What matters is that we get there. And why shouldn't it be a life of joy? Why shouldn't all that hard work that we are earning be something that we find delightful in our lives? Why do we have to think that it's hard? And why do we have to do it the wrong way? And why does it have to be unenjoyable? Who created that perception? Which is why I will remind you that our philosophy is that everything must be easy, correct, and enjoyable. If it's not easy, if it's not correct, it won't be enjoyable. That's our litmus test to everything in life on how we do things. Then, let's talk about what do we need inside of us. We have to have a compass of where we're going. What is our North Star? A lot of people don't get to where they want to go. It's not because they can't. It's because they don't know where they are going. How can you get somewhere if you can't even see it? Our brains are remarkable things. When we ask the right questions, our brain will look for the answers. Our brain will itself start giving us better thoughts to get us there. We'll start seeing things and recognizing things as we see things into the world that are going to connect with that. We just start listening and seeing differently. But first, we have to know where we're going. Therefore, I challenge all of you to discover what is your desire. I challenge you to believe in it. And lastly, I challenge you to expect it. Expect it. No. And have fun discovering the way. Because if I can use myself as an example, everything that Get Fitness is today, the one and first most important thing about that is a collective consciousness of all the amazing people around me. And where we are at today, I knew we'd be here. I didn't know how we would get here. I knew we'd be here. And we've been having the most amazing adventure in our life, discovering how to get here and how to get to where we are going. It's not a rush. We're not in a hurry. We're just enjoying doing the work. We're just enjoying the journey. And what I can tell you is that we've attracted even more incredible people. Because everything that you're starting to see today is an expansion of Get Fitness collective consciousness. More great minds are starting to gather. And not only are great minds gathering, it's even transcending that. Now we are starting to collaborate with other organizations, other companies, other communities. Now, if as individuals we built Get Fitness, what happens now when we become an individual in that level of magnitude with other communities, other companies, and other enterprises? What will we be able to do together? And the best part is It has nothing to do with ego, has nothing to do with credit. Those things don't mean anything. The only thing that matters is what we are going to give. How are we going to make other people around us better? How are we going to inspire? There's plenty out here for everybody. This world is abundant. There's no scarcity. It's abundant. But first, you need to believe so you can see it. Then, unfortunately, you have to do the work. But understand that the work is the joy. Seeing yourself as an individual transform and to be able to contribute to the work. It's the most amazing feeling. The world has good and it has evil. It has both, good and bad. Our job is just to move the needle forward. So everything can be better for everyone around us and for those to come. Our job in our lifetime is to leave the world better than we found it. Not to complain. Not to say, why me? Not to be a victim. The opposite. To pick a problem and say, this is what I'm going to accomplish. This is what I'm going to do. And start accomplishing what's possible. What do I mean by that? What's possible is what's been done before. Today, I am the founder of one company. At some point in my lifetime, I will be the founder of 3 to 5 companies. But that's possible. The goal in life is to achieve the impossible, what no other human being has ever achieved before. But when you achieve that, it's not for the credit or the recognition of achieving something that nobody's ever done before, but instead is to make the world better, to bring something into the world that it has not have experienced and has had, so it can push the envelope further for better life experiences for everyone. And let me give you this concept. Today, we live better than kings and queens 100 years ago. So think about how much we have. Today, in the smartphone, we have more information than past presidents before us. So start focusing on how much we have and how much we can do. Because when that many individuals are doing, that's when generations are recognized. Imagine to inspire so many individuals to do. Imagine what our generation right now can do, what it can achieve. But if we're not thinking about it, if we're not moving in that direction, it's not going to happen. So let's start taking action. Let's start adding to ourselves. Because what happens when you're adding to yourself? Now you're building this confidence. You're building this trust in yourself to achieve all these things. Now you have this level of competence. Now you're pleasant to be around all the time, positive, energetic. Who doesn't want to work with an individual like that? So every day, take self-reflection and was I my best to everyone around me? Was I patient with everyone around me? Was I empathetic with everyone around me? Was I then compassionate with everyone around me? Did I help develop that human being more? did I use my words from all this knowing and experience that I have to change the trajectory of that human being's life? I'll restate, words have meaning. And when the right individual is using those words, it can cause exponential growth in someone's life. To be able to cause ripples that can turn into tsunamis just by taking the time and sharing some words. Think about what's possible and what's impossible daily and move towards it. Persevere over your lower self and be your higher self, and then see what life feels like. Become a philosopher in life. Someone who has an understanding of good and bad. Is life perfect? Are you going to have to work with bad people? Yes, you will. But that's the work. The work is to transform them. A lot of people will agree with the idea if somebody does something good, you reward them. If someone does something bad, you punish them. No. Someone does something good, you reward them. Someone does something bad, you teach them. By being yourself. By being excellent in front of them. Without changing your state. Being a witness to their actions. And not letting yourself get pulled into that negativity and becoming negative. But instead, still treating them well. Still treating them good. Breaking that precondition of hatred. Because what happens is, when someone does something wrong, and then you treat them wrong, you only make them worse. So I challenge you to make them better with your human excellence. We're not coming down. A higher energy cannot be controlled by a lesser energy, so don't come down. They have to come up. See what I'm saying? And don't shun them. Continue to work with them. But by being a higher energy. Making them live life at your standard by you being you. Not by forcing them, not by telling them, but by showing them that you are the environment. We go to good environments so we can become the environment and then go create every environment around us. That's the power of the human spirit. That's what we are capable of. What would you do if you're not afraid? Because we become what we believe. And what does that mean? Live your life with courage, confidence, enthusiasm, love, and wisdom.